We certainly want to see banks succeed in this new world order.
There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. And we've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it. So anyway.
The fourth industrial revolution has one big challenge. It is the holding out of the middle class, which is a pillar of our democracies.
Convinced that we will destroy, unfortunately, a lot of employment. Just think of self-guided cars and all the drivers losing their jobs. Let's look at the bank employees and so on.
If you're left behind, you're facing something far worse, which is to be completely irrelevant. They won't even need you as a serf or as a slave.
Oh, I think this Sam Bankman-Fried, I'm actually thinking about the way that the Fed may actually view this thing. I know that sounds like, well, wait a second, how could it possibly impact? But if you blow up Silicon Valley and you blow up crypto, Binance, of course, wouldn't screw that. I do think that there's the possibility that you're going to see the epicenter of this slowdown/recession be in fintech and be in actual tech. And I don't know whether it's big enough, but I think it could matter. It could matter a lot. But the president,
definitely the deflating of these assets, which is something the Fed is certainly
these
wanted.
Are all assets. If you look on that board and you're J-Pal, you would feel great if those all went to zero. Remember, he wants our portfolios to give us less buying power. He wants us to have less money to spend so that the other areas in the consumer price index go down. And I think that can actually happen. I think there's a lot of people who will say, ouch, that's a terrible way to look at it, Jim, but
I think it's
not.
point.
The epicenter is not in Boeing. I mean, maybe the president gets to deal with Boeing. And so I really think that we have to take a short-term view that crypto collapse or anything like that is something that would really help, really help J-Pal.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And we have Jim Cramer saying this is what the Fed wanted. And we know the Fed sets up distractions instead of telling you, I took your money. Over $150 billion came off the market. FTX didn't cause that. Cryptos that have no affiliation with FTX are taking a hit. It's just the Fed taking liquidity. And while they're shrinking liquidity, we know they're scaring the masses. The masses are not going to invest because the media just keeps hitting them with this story. And who controls your media? That's right, the NWO. And guys, we still have no interview of Sam Bankman-Fried, no talk of arrest, and still on television, they're saying they can't prove fraud yet. Now, I saw a reporter in the Bahamas in front of the FTX building, but no Sam Bankman-Fried. And he was the only reporter there. Now, you would think this place would be flooded. And we have Sam Bankman-Fried on Twitter playing alphabet. What happened? But guys, we have Elliptic, which we know has the technology to track all this information and tell us all the fraud that's going on, but nothing from them. And the same thing goes for Luna. And this reminds us of what? That's right, these big banks. They get away with crimes, pay a little fine, and everything gets swept under the rug, and no one goes to prison. Why? Because we know when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
And is your view that that crypto is therefore dead? Is this that just FTX is dead? How do you separate the two?
You know, I think Web3 is having a very tough year because a lot of the money in Web3 was tied to Ponzi schemes. And a lot of what Web3 was doing was not economic. It was not solving important processes that matter for the economy. And this is going to really hurt crypto. Crypto's not dead, but crypto's going to be a lot smaller than it was in terms of money.
But so would you look at this and say Bitcoin it's at $16,000 right now. Do you think Bitcoin is a real technology that has a long-term, very viable, big future? Do you look at Ethereum similarly? How do you sort of differentiate the sort of value proposition of those types of coins, Solana and the like, versus the companies that have been either operating as exchanges or some of these other platforms?
You know, I think the ability to decentralize who controls stores of value and for things not to all be controlled by big governments, especially when you have governments like China, Iran, Russia in the world, it's a very important thing for humanity. And long term, we're going to have something like crypto as part of our global financial system. I think that the vast majority of the money going into it through places like FTX was chasing Ponzi schemes, and these things are just massively overvalued.
What did you see when people would approach you about saying, hey, I can get you in on this? What did you see that you were like, no way?
Well, the question we always ask, I mean, I've had so many smart young people come in like, oh, we're working on crypto, we're working on this stuff. Okay, what problem are you solving that matters for a process in the economy? How does this change healthcare, logistics? How is it actually going to change what people are doing with fintech and finance to add value as a process? And there's very little of that. It was much more about the excitement. It's much more about who else was in. I mean, this, you know, it felt very much like 2000, like any other bubble in that sense.
Bahamas police now say they're investigating FTX and whether any criminal misconduct occurred. FTX also suffering a suspected hack. Over the weekend, FTX's new CEO and restructuring officer says it's in the process of moving customer assets offline. As a result, data from Elliptic puts the potential damage at around $477 million. Joe.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.